Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Tips, brought to you by Uplifting Official. Luke and I are just too excited to start this one. Couldn't wait for the record button. Yeah, next year, right?
Yeah, next year, Derek will be back. Probably still a little hobbled. You're going to come out. We're all going to be in Wyoming. We're going to knock it out together. Yeah, we just finished Murph. Carter in Georgia, me in Colorado with a bunch of the Colorado folks, Charlie, Kiefer, Garrett, Caroline, Josh, cast all came out, and we just wrapped up. Caroline had to wait till the kids went down, and I'm feeling it.
Yeah, my little leggies are tired.
Yeah, every year I lambast myself for not training more for this. So I'm actually putting it on paper and on the whiteboard that there's going to be a legitimate train up that starts next week to where I'm doing a lot more of this type of training in this kind of volume. Cause yeah, it's my fucking competition or not a competition, my challenge. I came up with it. I should be probably performing a little better. But yeah, it's, this shit's fun. It should be, right? Memorial Day, I don't think should be a day that, we sit around all somber. And you guys heard last week the podcast that we recorded, which was kind of a rough one with Evan and Carrie. But, now we're here Memorial Day. We just got the crew together, knocked out Murph, did some hard shit. Was thinking about Mike and his story and the whole time when I was running back on that second mile where it's just brutal, right? And you just want to quit the entire time. So I think there's time for that reflection, but now we're going to go throw burgers on the grill, jump in a cold plunge, and I'm going to crack a near beer and the boys will crack some real beers and we'll have a good time. So, and I think that's really what it's all about. Cause it's not to me, everybody's got their own deal with this, but to me, it's more of a celebration, telling the stories, making sure that these guys aren't forgotten. And as long as we tell the stories, they'll truly never die. I think that's really important.
Yeah, the balance is important for sure. It's not like you spend every day reflecting and remembering and being somber and sad, and you shouldn't, right? You shouldn't. You still need to function and get through what you need to get through, but being intentional about these workouts and taking some time and then being like, yeah, you know what, that was awesome. It's actually a pretty sweet way to celebrate and remember. A positive way to do that, right? Through this miserable physical week that you've created.
Yeah, it's a rough one. And some of you guys, you finished Murph which is today, Monday, when we're recording this. And then some of you guys will probably have just finished up DT, which is today's Tuesday. It's always weird talking about time when these things release. But DT is pretty rough. Some of you guys are feeling it. If you haven't done it yet, it looks easy on paper, but it gets really shitty quick. And it's after DT that you're going to really start feeling it. And I just challenge you guys. Last year, I was just watching a lot of posts where folks are like, I'm going to listen to my body and not move. I'm going to go ahead and stop and take it easy. And look, the intent of this is not for anybody to get hurt. So if you've got an injury, if you are overtraining, leading up to this and you're legitimately at risk of injury, then absolutely, let off the gas pedal. But I think the majority of the time, that's not the case. That's a rationalization to just call it quits. I've done this cold every year we've done it where I haven't really trained up for it. And until I tore my labrum last year, I did every year prescribed, just slow. I wasn't fast at any of the times. And like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm not saying, if I'm pretty strong, so like prescribed is hard on some of these. So, but you can scale it back. That's why it's scaled. That's why the options are there. You got the coaches available to you. So what I would challenge, if you're feeling really rough, instead of just quitting with the week, just roll it back, be a little more tolerable. I like to keep the volume the same, just reduce the weights, know that it's going to take me a little longer. If it takes you 2 hours, it takes you 2 hours. You can carve out the time. That's the whole point of this, is to be intentional, to reflect and remember and honor these men that paid the ultimate sacrifice. And it's a small fucking price to pay for some discomfort this week. And I think it's worth paying, in my opinion, but I'm obviously very biased and partial to this. But if you signed up for it, you liked the idea, reality smacks you in the face, because it does me every single year, and it's rough, and it only gets harder. And then when you get to the end of it, if you do this entire week and you're not actually injured, I guarantee you're going to look back on it and be like, I'm really glad I did some hard shit. And that's really what this is all about.
Yep. You can do anything for a week.
For sure. I'll be very intentional, right? Like, we're about to go jump in the cold plunge, try to get some of that inflammation down. This is not the week, like, that Huberman talks about, like, don't cold plunge post workout, because it's going to reduce your inflammation and then the body's reaction and your recovery and da, 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 da. This is the one where you want to reduce the inflammation, right? This is a hard week. So, like, if you have the ability to jump in some cold water, hit some sauna, do some stretching, do some yoga, do a little bike in between, keep moving. Don't just like go sedentary after these, because your body's just going to really tighten up, because like you're putting a ton of stress and trauma on your body right now. Whether you train like this or not, even if you're like a hardcore CrossFitter and this is your style of training, most people have never done like hero wides back to back to back for 7 days straight. Yeah. So just know that it's rough. Like, be intentional about your nutrition. Like, get enough protein. You need some carbohydrates for this. If you're not already like running in a ketosis. And I'm not going to get into a deep dive on nutrition. Like, whatever you're doing, like, continue it, but just be mindful about getting your protein in there and being smart across the board, and hydrate, right? You need to supplement with some electrolytes. Wilderness Athlete has some really great hydration supplements, which you can win on the giveaways. We'll be giving out a pack of Hero every week. If you didn't sign up and you missed Murph and you haven't done DT yet, you can still sign up. The sign-ups all week, so you can roll through. You'll be entered into those giveaways that are going on every day throughout. The money will still go to the Christianis Foundation. HLE doesn't make a dime off this. This is just something we do to want to give back to causes that we care about, and then, bring awareness. Because, like, I think I talked about it on the last one, but Murph, and as he should, right, in the Medal of Honor recipient, put his life in harm's way to try to get the call out to save his men. But he gets a lot of the press, right? But there's a lot of guys whose stories don't get told. And that was kind of the onus for me to extend this a week, because we can get 6 more names out there. And that's why they change up a little bit every year. And we bookend it with Tillman every year. And then we kind of just flow without, because I think it's just an opportunity to learn about some different folks and some different guys. And we haven't done a gal yet. Next year, that was actually something I just realized, where I'm going to find a hero wad for a female, because their stories need to be told too. But yeah, it's going to get hard. It's going to get shittier as the week goes on. Just stay with it. Don't listen to that fucking inner bitch that is going to sit there and tell you that, like, oh, I'm overtraining. Oh, I'm going to hurt myself. If you need to back off, but still do the work. That's what this is all about. A little bit of sacrifice from us to honor the dudes that sacrificed everything, and their families sacrificed everything because they don't have, those men anymore. And I think that means something. But
yeah, well said, man. That's all there is to it.
Well, this is kind of a hybrid episode. We're going to wrap this little piece of it. We just wanted to get on and touch on Hero Week, because I know everybody, like, we've got guys that have done this every year. We've done it, and they kind of know what's coming. We have a ton of new folks this year, and which is awesome. This thing is like almost doubled in size from last year, which is humbling and incredible. I really appreciate that everybody's jumping into this. But just know that, like, yeah, it's tough, but everybody's feeling it, and you can get through it. I promise you. Because if I can do it cold, you can do it cold or whatever type of shape you're in. Just keep working, be smart, lean on the coaches. If you need to back something off, if you don't have equipment, if you don't have access to something, you can ask in the chat. One of our coaches will give you recommendations, or somebody else. The chat's been popping. It's really cool. You can plug into the community, get to know folks. And kind of see what this community is all about that surrounds Hunt Lift Eat, not just with our team member program, just the community at large, which is pretty wild, the rate that it's growing and the caliber of people that we have in it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of the week. This is always like a great jump start, just to like kick your own ass and have that good hard look in the mirror of like, man, I need to train better. So how are you feeling after Murph?
I feel pretty good. My knee hurts. I've got a tendonitis injury that I haven't run since November, and running's like kind of my thing. And that came roaring back on that second mile. So I'm about to go walk and move a little bit, so I don't tighten up before tomorrow, because I'll need that left knee. I'll need that left knee for DT.
Yeah, my right knee is the one that bothers me, and same deal. I've got patellar tendinosis, and it used to have, I think it's still, because I never got healed, partially torn ACL. That's just like all scar tissue now.
Yeah.
And then my quad where I tore it gets too tight when I'm running. So like, yeah, go jump in the cold water, and then I'm going to hit that thing with a Theragun, a lot of stretching, and one of the middle Graston blades, so I can try to break up that tightness. But the recovery is big. You guys got to take care of your bodies during this. Be mindful, because if not, you're just going to absolutely bomb and then just quit. And if you're being deliberate, you're putting the work in outside of just the wads, like that's how you're going to stay in this fight. And yeah, it's a good one. It's worth it when you get to the other side. There's some sort of mental, like, fuck yeah, I did that. That's really cool. That's why the folks that do it once, typically we see they come back every year.
Yep, absolutely. Listeners, good luck on DT. If you haven't signed up, go get signed up. Hope to see you in the chat.
As always, we appreciate the hell out of you guys.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Tips, brought to you by Huntlifted Official. Sitting down with one of my new friends, one of my new favorite people for this episode. We got Armando Martinez, Mr. Bowhitch himself, coming on to join for this Tips episode. What's going on, Armando?
What up, fam? Let's do this.
Yeah, dude. I saw on your story either today or yesterday. You've been getting after it on the physical side of things, prepping for hunting season this fall. And you posted something today or yesterday, and you said September is tomorrow. And I was like, yes, dude, I love that so much. Like, that's such a great mindset to have, thinking about hunts going on.
It comes quick, guys. Like I like writing that, especially for myself. September is tomorrow, because you can't wait for a week, because a week turns into 2 and turns into a month. And then tomorrow is September. So It's a reminder just that it comes quick, just like everything else. It comes quick. And if you don't put in the work now, you will not be ready, and you'll cheat yourself, is what it is. The best way to explain it is, in my mind, the way I see people going through this is you will cheat yourself, because you'll know that you didn't put in the work in, April, May, June, July, August. And when you get to that ridge and the bull bugles, or you see on Onyx or whatever app you're using, you're like, shit, that next ridge is money. Like there should be a water hole there that looks like a wallow, that looks like whatever topography or vegetation I'm looking for. But if you puss out in the summer, you're not going to be willing to make that hike to get to where you need to go, to where the animals are probably at. So it's just a stark reminder that it comes quick and you cheat yourself. And I'm telling you, I've been on the ridge before and been like, I really don't want to go down that. Like, I don't know that I want to carry an elk back up it, especially after you go down. It just gets harder as things progress. But if you do the work now, the cool thing is that you tell yourself, let's go. I've been working all summer. I can absolutely do this. And just your energy and your mindset and your focus totally changes to where I'm going down to kill this animal because I know I'm prepared and I know I can do it.
100%.
Total mindset swap.
Yep. Yeah. And if that positive mindset is so important. And if you know in the back of your mind that you can back it up physically, because you don't want to let your, physical fitness be the weak link that's going to let you down, because you are in total control of that, right? That's in the hunting world. There's so many things you can't control, right? Weather, or like freak gear breaks, or like whatever, right? But you control that physical fitness. And if you know that, and you prepped and you did everything that you could, right? It's easier to have that positive mindset when it is game time.
Yeah, 1,000%. It does come down to a mental game, especially once you get into a position where you're smelling the elk. You could hear them walking and the twigs breaking and stuff, and you're about to lose your shit. Like, you just take that breath and you say, okay, cool. Like the animal doesn't know I'm here. Let's let this progress and play out. He's walking by or he's looking for another animal. So, you know, you just really have to slow down and then remind yourself, okay, I'm already knocked. That's my yardage that I've ranged, whatever. Like, slow way down and then think of the basics. Okay. Draw, anchor, like chill, pick a spot. Don't just find hair. Pick one spot. Pick it behind the shoulder. Don't hit that shoulder. You know, you have an elk has a giant lung. So come behind the shoulder. Don't hug it too tight, you know, and
Right.
give yourself a pie plate of wiggle room there. And before you squeeze, you pick a spot and you just let it rip.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait, dude. I have an elk tag this year too, so I cannot wait. I've been
That's freaking awesome.
I'm getting ready, like you said. I've been hitting it pretty good.
I love that. Well, I drew my first Wyoming elk tag last week.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, I've been waiting 6 years for this, man, and drew it, and I'll be heading out with my bow this September. It's my first archery elk hunt. So yeah, what would you got any tips or tricks that you would pass along to first time bow hunters?
Yeah, I'll tell you maybe a couple. Like, and I'm just thinking of me stalking into an animal and you're working your ass off. Like when you're getting from point A to point B, the animals make a ton of noise. I don't know how much time you've been in the elk woods around them, but when you're hunting them in bow season and they're making noise and they're walking through the woods, they're very loud. So if you're walking and trying to get from point A to point B, don't hinder yourself on trying to be stealthy. It costs you a lot of energy and a lot of time because you're going to try to pick a different route and not rub up on something. And it's like, bro, go. They expect noise. Noise doesn't bother them. They're going to stop. They're going to look, and if you're far enough, it's not going to matter. If you're on the other ridge and they hear something, they're expecting that sound. Number one, they're calling. Number two, you're calling.
Yeah.
So I think that helps a lot because I see a lot of people, especially newer people, they're like, dude, we're making too much noise. And I'm like, just keep up. Let's go. But I'll tell you why later. Like, it's cool. But
yeah.
So just keep that in mind. The second thing that I would say, okay, so we got across the ridge. They're still bugling where they were. We're getting close now. If they're talking, you don't need to speak to them, especially if you don't know exactly what you're saying. So if you have somebody calling behind you, they can continue calling if you already have a dialogue going with that animal. If he's bugling and you've already closed in 500 yards and then you make a sound, they're expecting you to be right there and you just showed up out of nowhere. So you're better off just slipping in on him. So that's a big thing. People will overcall.
Yeah.
In the rock. If an animal is making noise, you don't have to call back to him because he's telling you where he's at. Just go to him.
Right.
When you get that close, the tactic I like to use is I will lightly rake. I will rake. No audible elk sounds. I'm just sitting there raking. And then if I'm trying to bring him in, that I'll do a little bit of a rake.
You do that with a branch that you find or something like that?
Yeah. Just get a branch and just they have great ears, so just rake a little bit and see what happens.
That's awesome. That first tip is fantastic because I'm a whitetail hunter on the East Coast.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Whitetail hunters. Oh, dude,
totally
I'm like, you need to go to
gotta move.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're gonna get me all fired up. Yeah. I've had a couple of whitetail hunters and I have the elk like exactly where they need to be. And I'm like, dude, you need to get closer. You need to get closer. And I even, when I set up hunters, we use a radio. And so the way I do it is I put it in their ear and I carry mine and I tell them, okay, we'll pick a spot. You're setting up here. The animal's here. It's probably going to come to one of these 2 or 3 places, right? This is what we're hoping for. If you hear me behind you, I'm going to be moving. So don't turn around and look for me. That's me making the noise back there. So stay looking forward. So I drop back. They go to their spot. and they will never move. Like, dude, the animal will be coming and they're like, I'm not going to move. And I'm on the radio like, dude, bump up 20 yards, next tree,
Yeah.
move. You got to move. He's right there raking a tree. Go kill him. Move.
Yeah.
But you got to move. You got to move. And they're just like, nope, I ain't moving. He'll pass by. I'm like, dude, he's not going to. That's what I'm telling you. And yeah. So anyway, don't be afraid to move.
Yeah.
If they're looking at you, or, you know, you could see their eyeballs, don't move. But if they're making some noise and you're far enough, yeah, you can move, kind of move freely.
That's good to know, man. It'll be a totally different ball game. I'm excited to experience it. Luckily, I'll have somebody there who's a little experienced.
Cool.
My buddy Gabe Martinez on the team, so he knows what he's doing. He's an elk killer, so hopefully that'll help.
Oh, that it's huge. Yeah. So just be a sponge, man. He can have the best idea and best game plan and best whatever. Just realize that it doesn't matter when you're on the mountain. Things change. You could be letting out a shitty bugle and your reed breaks and the bull comes in, or you could let the most pure mew out and the bull runs away. Like, so it's hunting. It's hunting, but there's nothing like it. So I'm super excited for you.
I love that, man. We'll have to keep you in the loop.
Yeah, sounds good. What are your dates?
It's the general tag, so it's really September 1 to October 30th.
Wow.
I need to do some math and see when is a good time for me to slip away from the family to go chase that. I'd like to do it. What Gabe said, he was like, if you want the full Wyoming experience, you need to come during archery.
Yeah.
You want them bugling in your face and like doing the whole dance. Like, this is the time to come. And I was like, all right, dude, I'll start practicing.
Yeah. Well, there's two different schools of thought. So typically the earlier hunts, like the 1st through the 15th, they're not bugling too much. You might get into a hot cow and have some bugling action around her. However, the first half is less bugling, but the bulls are easier to kill, I think, because they're alone looking for the cows. They're patternable. So if you are running trail cameras and you're checking water and wallows and stuff, they're still on that cycle and they really hadn't branched off yet. After that, when the bulls are moving around and then they're bugling like crazy, they usually have cows around them. So I don't know. Just I put in for the first hunts, the early hunts myself.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. We'll keep you in the loop.
Yeah. Excited for you, dude. Excited for you.
Appreciate it. While we're on the topic of archery and bows, man, let's talk about what I wanted to talk to you about, what I want our listeners to hear about, man. But can you fill us in on this fundraiser that you're running over on the Bowhitch IG, man? It's phenomenal. You're raising money for a really cool kid.
Dude, so I'll give you guys a little bit of backstory. I've known this kid for several years. I've known his dad. His dad's a retired cop. I have law enforcement background. And since the first time I met him, we kind of just hit it off. I met the dad on a deer hunt. A guy we were guiding from Hawaii came out, hunted with us, killed a deer on day one. And Zach drove out to pick up this deer to have it butchered and packaged before the hunt was over with the other guys that were still hunting. And he had never met him, never nothing, dude. And I was like, this freaking dude this is the real deal, right? Like, didn't charge him, didn't ask it. Like, he just said, I'll pick it up and take care of it. The guy, Dwayne, didn't even know. Mark, one of our mutual friends, was like, yeah, don't worry, I got it taken care of. Zach came and got it. And dude was ready, frozen for him to fly home with. So that's the breed of kid that I'm dealing with, man. Yeah. Like that's and anyhow, Zach is an amazing archer. His kids are amazing archers, and all of my personal equipment, he's offered to get hooked up. He's like, dude, just bring it over. I'll get it dialed in for you. I'll do anything. Like, he's a professional, Bo, be like, he's a professional. He's a killer. And so I take it over, and the first couple of times I'm like, cool. Yeah. He hooked me up the first time. Like, let me bring you something or buy you something, or what do you need? And he was there with his kids, and he's like, kids, what's the deal? We don't take money. We don't take money for this. We know how to do it. We should be doing this to help our friends out. So we're not doing it for money. We're doing it to help you out. And it's because it's what we do. And man, that right there was like, this is good people, right? These are my people. And so that was like probably 4 years ago. And ever since then, I've just become closer with Zach and with his kids. And his kid's a stud archer. Both of them are stud archers, stud golfers. They're just good kids, ROTC, like just studs. And so the one that I'm going to be supporting, his name is Moose. He just graduated. And so I thought, instead of doing, well, I won this bow. This bow is a brand new PSC Fortis 33. I won the bow, and the minute that I won it, I knew I was going to do something cool with it. I didn't know. I knew I wasn't going to keep it for me, right? So I was like, I'll wait until something right comes up. I'll hold on to it. And so finally I decided, I said, you know what? Moose is ready to go to the next level. He needs to hit some of these bigger tournaments. His dad has been able to take him to a couple, but it's expensive, man. You got food, you got travel, you got hotel, you got entry fees, like all the stuff that comes with it. You got gear, you got arrows. Like, we know how expensive all this stuff is. And so Moose started, he works, like he goes to school 5 days a week. He works on the weekends and in the afternoons, and he's just a stud kid. So I said, you know what? Super cool the way this works. So I knew what I was going to do. And so I sent out a couple of text messages and asked some people, hey, Cutter Stabilizers, can you give me a stabilizer? I'm going to do something cool with this kid. Hot Shot Archery, can you give me a release? I'm going to do something cool. Advanced Outdoor Technologies, Epic Archery Unleashed hooked me up, and Rock Creek Archery hooked me up. And so I got all this stuff, and I put it together, and I take it to Moose's house and to Zach's house. So I'm like, hey, Moose, I said, do me a favor, bro. I said, I have all this stuff. I'm going to be hooking this kid up I'm going to raffle this bow off, and I'm going to hook him up with all this money. And, do you mind? He goes, dude, whatever you need. And so I said, put this whole entire bow together for me and fletch these arrows, and I have a dozen arrows. So fletch it, get it ready. And I'm going to raffle it off. So just tell me when it's done. He goes, yeah, come back next week. I'll have it ready for you. So dude, he doesn't know it's for him. So he put this entire bow together, and so I'm talking to him, dude. He has no idea what's happening. And so I'm like, hey, Moose, do me a favor. Would you mind getting in front of the camera with me and telling me a little bit about this bow? And, what I told him, what would you tell a kid who was, kind of facing, like, man, I forget exactly the terminology the question that I asked him, what would you tell a kid that didn't have a good role model, that needed to hear something positive? Mm. And so he said, just always be true to yourself. Honesty is the best policy. Work hard. Just always work really hard and be honest with people is the most important, most important things. And so I was like, all right, cool. And I said that, if your dad had to say something out here and tell you something, what would your dad tell you? And he would say, be true to yourself. Like there's always going to be somebody to try to knock you down or to, talk trash or whatever. For whatever reason, they're not going to be happy for you. You just be true to yourself and you continue to work hard. And so, dude, he has no idea it's for him. And so I have all this recorded. I'm going to have his dad go through and record and say the exact same phrase, but in his voice. So I have 10 minutes of video of it, and it's so cool. So he's been helping me with it and getting the word out and everything. And so the it's called Chasing Dreams. I want this kid to go chase his dreams. So I'm doing a raffle that it's basically a raffle. It's a fundraiser for donation, but for every dollar that's donated, I'm entering your name into the hat to, for a chance to win this bow. So Moose is going to set it up. You're going to tell him your draw length. Okay. I'm, 27.5 inches. He'll get it. He's going to set all the pins. Like for my bow, dude, I literally will take it. And he goes, all right, bro, you're good up to 80 or 90 or whatever. And I come and I just pick it up and it's just dart.
Unreal.
It's stupid. These guys are just professionals. So I pick it up and it's shooting 10 rings. I bring it home and it shoots, 5 rings, but whatever. So anyhow, man, yeah, we're running that campaign. It's called Chasing Dreams. I have it set up through my personal, not the business. That way they don't have to pay. I don't have to pay. But Chasing Dreams. I'll get you the link for it. If anybody would like to donate, I'm going to give this kid 100% of the money, and he has no idea. So I'm going to tell him, here, Moose, use this, go on a trip, go shoot, go do whatever you want to support and chase what you're doing here. Cause he'll be on the main stage in Vegas shooting those championships here in the next couple of years. He's a stud.
Come on, man. That's the best, dude. That makes me so happy, man. I super appreciate everything that you do to help other people, man. We talked about your random acts of kindness last time you were on, and then this is unbelievable, man. So kudos to you, and good vibes out into the world and for good people, man. And that's what it's all about, is helping each other out and keeping good people in your corner, man. What else? Invest in good people, right? That's some of the best advice I've ever been getting from my boss, and I really took that to heart. And so that's what you're doing, man. You're investing in a good person, and I'm happy to be part of it. I got my email receipt from you today, so my name's in the hat, and hopefully we can push this a little bit. So hopefully our listeners will check it out, and they can go to Bowhitch on Instagram and see the post. You got to put the Bowhitch, so it's at the Bowhitch. You could shoot me a message on Facebook. I don't really use Facebook too much, but Instagram is the best. If you just have Facebook, I do have a Facebook page. Just shoot me a message and say, "Hey, man, where's the link?" And I'll get you the link and just shoot you a direct message with the PayPal address. And that's it, man. I appreciate you. I did see that donation come in, so thank you. And the HLE family has been great. I'm super, super happy to be working with you guys, and everything that HLE touches is for the right reasons, with the right energy. Like yesterday, I was just listening to a podcast with Luke, and he's just a realist that I love. He's like, just do something. Like for working out, just do something. It doesn't matter. You're gonna fall off. Who cares? Start again tomorrow. Like I just really appreciate his energy, and he's a hard worker. I think I'm a hard worker, and I think that's where most things really develop from, is your intent and your attitude at getting things done. And so the HLE community, thank you guys. Like I said, I'm honored to be a part of it, and look forward to supporting you guys as well as in any way we can. Absolutely, man. Yeah, we appreciate it. Likewise, we're proud to be partnered with you, man. And you've always been there for us. And so hopefully some listeners will take this to heart and check out the link that we'll have posted, or shoot Armando a message. And if you want to be a part of this fundraiser for this kid, that's amazing. He doesn't know. That's wild.
Dude, he doesn't know. So I took him. I missed him. Yeah, I took him my bow the other day, and for him to get it tuned up for me for this hunting season, right? Come on. Hey, what's up, man? I said, hey, what's up, dude? Do you mind tweaking my bow, just double checking everything? Yeah, no problem. Drop it. It was his graduation day. He was getting ready for his party. And so he goes, yeah, man, bring it in. Let me check it out. And I said, nah, just leave it here, dude. I'll pick it up later. And money, dude. Kid is money. Yeah.
Best, dude. That's the best.
Yeah. So
appreciate that. Love hearing about that. Doing a podcast late night on a Tuesday, man. It's just a good way to end the day, man. That's awesome to think about. So I appreciate what you're doing.
You got it, guys. Thanks. Happy to be here, and good luck in September, dude. You need any other little pointers, you let me know. I have a couple tricks up my sleeve, but
I'll be bugging you for sure.
just have fun. Have fun. Don't overthink it. If they're making sound, walk to them. You don't need to talk back. Always check the wind 400 times. That's aim small, miss small, pick a spot. Not even aim small, pick a spot.
Fantastic. Well,
cool.
The Bowhitch on Instagram, Chasing Dreams. Listeners, check it out. Armando, appreciate you as always, dude.
Later, guys. Have a blessed night.
Thanks, man. You too.